Hello, this is Andrei from Impact Etching. I have a great news for the owners of our older DiamondEdge series machines, the ones that not ending with 300, just regular DiamondEdge, which we haven't been selling for around 5 years because those machines have been superseded by the 300 series. So the EControl software that you used for those machines, it had a lot of bugs, mostly in EControl Engraving Studio, this one that I'm showing right now, had a lot of bugs, mostly the bugs dealing with our perimeter walk. It never worked correctly on complex geometries, plus a lot of random error messages that were typically coming when either software didn't have enough memory or some weird connection issues with USB. So the new version, you get it completely for free as long as you agree to take some risks when using it, because obviously, I mean, we just released it. There might be some bugs. I've been testing it for the last couple of weeks, and I hope I ironed it all out, but still, use it with caution. So what you need to do to install it, you just run the installer, agree on the terms and conditions, decide if you want to add it to the start menu or just put an icon on the desktop. This button, in my case, it says reinstall. In your case, it will be install. You press it, it runs, done. Then you go and find that icon. It will be a separate icon on your desktop. You can always switch back to your previous version. And the new icon, you just launch it. And I made any effort to make sure that this software looks exactly the same as your previous one so that you don't have to learn much new about running it. So let me quickly show you how to use it still, and a couple of improvements that we've introduced, which I hope you will find useful. So I'm going to build a project combining it from two different images. Let me throw in the portrait and add the rows and portrait, and scale them. I have a machine obviously connected to this computer. I'm not showing it, but you'll probably hear it in the background. So let me create some kind of layout. 6 inches tall, yeah, that should fit. Maybe not, hold on, let me make it smaller. My machine is pretty small here. So the first thing you notice when I open the image is it shows you the what I call color histogram, which allows you to preview if the image is bright enough. So what color histogram does, it shows you the pixel count, those black bars, depending on the color number. Well, we don't show color number 0, not to distract this histogram, because 0 is black color. It will be very big bar if we were to show it. But all of the other colors from 1 to 255, they allow you to basically judge if the image is well enough color balanced. The whole idea is this kind of yellow highlighted band on the right presents the brightest colors in the image, and it should have some pixels there. I mean, if you don't see anything there, the program will actually tell you that the image is not bright enough and might need adjustment. But this kind of even the glancing at this histogram allows you to see if it's bright enough, okay? The program doesn't allow you to adjust it. It's obviously something that you have to do in Photoshop or ask whoever prepared the image for you to correct, but it still allows you to see if the image is bright enough, because it's important for it to look best on a stone, okay? Let me click Start Editing Job and show you another Start Etching Job, and show you another function that we've introduced, which we actually have for the 300 series, but I kind of back ported it here, and that's called it's called stone level testing. But before I go there, let me actually show you the perimeter walk. So perimeter walk, as I said, never worked properly in the previous version on some complex geometries when there were different elements separated by black areas. This is all fixed in this version. So if you click on perimeter walk, it draws very nice perimeter and allows you to adjust it by kind of making it less and more concave, making it smoother if you choose to do so. And then I wanted to show you something else. When you start walking around the perimeter, let me choose the clockwise perimeter walk. Say you are concerned about certain points, like the most extreme points, typically on the stone, where it will be, of the engraving, where it will be positioned on the stone. So what you can do, you can pause in that particular space. It allows me to move the line, and when I press Control and do zoom, it allows me to zoom. So let's assume I've overshot a little bit. I want to see where the tip of the leaf will be. So I lower the speed to the very low and do counterclockwise. Okay, and I've overshot again, clockwise now. Okay, here. And I want to see where that will be on the stone. So one way of doing it, you can just lower the head until it touches the stone, right? But what you can also do optionally, you can actually hit the stone. It will create tiny, tiny dot, barely visible. And it will actually allow you to create three types of dots: tiny, medium, and big. So the way you do it, you just choose the size of the dot that you want to create and you press hit the stone. And well, I'm not sure if you hear it in the background, my machine actually just did just that. Honestly, this tiny dot will barely be visible. So what I would recommend, I mean, if you want it to be visible, maybe go medium or big, and it will create still very, very tiny dot. You wipe off the dust and you will not be able to see it at all afterwards, but it still allows you to, I mean, if you look very closely, it still allows you to see where that particular place will be on the stone, okay? And when you smudge that dot with a finger and just fill it with black marker, you will not see it afterwards. So I will actually recommend that you create at least medium hit, and if that one is not visible enough, actually do it a couple of times, okay? My experience has been that the medium hit is barely visible. I'm always going with big, but you kind of experiment with all of this yourself. And so that is the perimeter walk, okay? When you close it, it forces the head to go back to the starting position where you started, okay? Once you're sure by running the perimeter walk that the stone is where it needs to be, all right, and the engraving is where it needs to be on the stone, you click the Start Engraving. And that is where we've just added another function which we haven't 300 series software, but now you have it as well. It's called level check. This allows you to see before you're engraving that the stone is level enough and that it's positioned correctly versus the Z control range, versus kind of how high or how low the head can go. And the way we can do it, the reason we can do it is because we can always measure the surface of the stone by lowering the head, because head basically stops at the stone. So what we do, we do it in multiple places of your future engraving. Then we basically measure if the stone is level enough, and we measure where it's positioned versus the stone, versus the Z-axis range. So let me quickly demonstrate that to you. And I deliberately actually positioned the stone at quite an incline so that it will likely report that it is not very level, let me put it this way. So you can still go without a level check, just say start without level check, but I would totally recommend that you get into the habit of doing it for every job you do. Okay, I'm clicking yes, do the level check. And even from here, you can still start engraving without level check, but I would still like to do the level check. So I'm clicking start the test. I'm not sure if you hear the machine humming in the background, but it just moves through those, in this particular case, I think 7 steps that it's predefined, pre-calculated, lowers the head, and measures the surface of the stone, and actually shows you the Z coordinate of the stone. And remember, on your machines, Z increments downwards. So the smaller reading of Z is actually higher. The bigger reading of Z is lower, okay? So let it finish. Okay, and tells us do not engrave yet, because the slope along the x-axis, like from left to right, is approximately close to 3 degrees. It's just not level enough along the y-axis. And y-axis, like left and right, is where the head runs the fastest. So it's very important that the stone is not too sloped along the x-axis. And actually recommends you raise the right hand edge by about 0.192, or actually in this particular case, it would be wiser to lower the left edge, because the left edge, as you can see, is very close to the higher end of the z-axis. It's only 0.14 inches. So we want kind of entire stone to be somewhere in the range of, to be in the middle of the range, around 0.6, 0.7 maybe. It gives you those instructions. What I'm going to do, I've put something under my stone. I'm just going to remove it, and then we'll remeasure and see what happens. Okay, I removed my shims under that I put under one of the sides of the stone, and let's redo the test. Okay, so as you can see, this test was much more successful. All of the z coordinates are more or less the same. It's kind of, for my taste, it's still a little bit too high to the top range of z. I would probably move it down a little bit, but you can still start engraving. And another thing we fixed with start engraving, the progress indicator is much nicer, and also it calculates the time remaining much more reliably. So it turned out that the time estimates in the old software were never correct. This one should work better. So another warning, start engraving, and it starts engraving. Okay. And just like with the previous version, when engraving is interrupted, for example, if the power goes down, it offers you the chance to resume. So, and that's what I'm going to do right now. After a little bit, I'm going to turn off the machine. Okay, I just physically turned off the machine. And obviously, I'm closing this window. And okay, let me close the program as well. And then I'm turning on the machine and waiting for it to resume, to start, waiting for it to boot up. Just wanted to show you that part. Okay, so machine has booted up. I'm launching the program. And after it recognizes the machine is connected, it should offer us to resume the engraving. Yeah, right? So it says machine is holding an uninterrupted job, resume. But even if you say no, you can still now go to statistics, and there will be resume button, and you can resume from here. And we also updated the statistics window to show kind of small preview of what it is that you were engraving, whether the job has completed or not, etc., etc. Okay, and the starting position. It shows you the starting position. And if you, for example, engraved something and then decided that you need to do another pass, you don't have to save the starting position, because you can just click repeat job, and provided that the stone has not moved versus the machine, and machine didn't move versus the stone, it will just go and repeat the same job for brighter engraving if that's what you choose. Or you can just move to the starting position by clicking move head there. So this is the new version for you. Contact me if you want to get it. It's completely free for any owner of DiamondEdge machine. I would appreciate if you test it and let me know how it works for you, and I will be fixing the bugs as we continue to work with this version. I hope it will make your life much easier. Thank you very much for watching. That was Andrei from Impact Etching.